Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm here to show you one of the very first 1959 Les Paul Standard reissues made by Gibson in 1981. So this predates Guitar Trader, Leo's, and many of these other limited edition runs that have been done by Gibson since then. And it has some interesting features. So we'll start with a case. This is the first reproduction of a Lifton style case by Gibson, and it's in very good shape for its age. So it has some nicks and scars on it, of course, but all of the buckles work. There is 1, 2 on this side of the neck, and 1 more on this side, and then 2 on the bout. So 5 total. 1 here and 1 here. And just to sort of show you the other side works, I'll close one. And show you this. Now, again, this wasn't the highest quality case, so you see a little bit of bubbling here and so forth, but nothing is torn or ripped. And remarkably, the handle is still intact. These cases are sort of notorious for breaking with the handle, but this one's fine. You probably wouldn't want to use it to gig with, obviously, but she houses the star here, which is a Heritage Cherry Sunburst. Again, 59 reissue. And let's get some more detail on this for you. So it's all original except for the pots, which are detailed in the photos. So they were replaced with 500K CTS pots. I didn't do it, it predated me, but you can get 1981 era 300K pots fairly inexpensively and abundantly on eBay and so forth. So if you wanted it to be totally original stock, that's what you need to do. But otherwise, let's look at the finish here. So there is very, very light scratching, if you want to call it that, nicking somewhere. Generally speaking, it's very hard to photograph anything. It's really in very, very good condition. You can see a little bit of wear on the pickups, which is sort of, normal for this age. ABR1 bridge with a wire. So it's not a wireless ABR1 like the early 50s, but it's, again, it's original stock, stop tail piece, and a little bit of wear there. 4 amber bonnet knobs. And what's interesting here is the dish carve. So I think there are 2 things about the body that make this really unique relative to later Les Pauls. So one is, if you can see there's actually a little bit of a dish, kind of like in a Paul Reed Smith, where the cut goes down and then back up. I think you can kind of see that, as opposed to sort of level and then bubbly and soft like the vintage Les Pauls and like current R9s are. So it's a subtle thing that's not really noticeable from afar, but when you're holding it, it's definitely different and unique. The other thing is the shape of the cutaway. So you notice here, it's not as round as your typical R9. It's also not as pointy as a Heritage 80. Let's get this angle here. It's unique. I've seen some 1960s that sort of look like that, but again, this is a prototype for guitars that were going to come later that were reissues here. And so, as far as we know from Gibson, this was ordered by a dealer. We don't know which one, but it was a very early, again, special order Les Paul custom. And so, again, the shape of the cutaway is a little unique. It's a slightly more pointy than a 1959, or like a real one. It's more like a 1952 in a way, in how it tapers, but it's not as sharp as a Heritage 80. So between the dish carve and the cutaway, you already have some kind of unique features that distinguish this guitar. You have the original. Actually, let's put it this way. Original tuners. These are the Keystone Deluxe type with the screen Les Paul logo, and the early 50s type Gibson inlay. And so now let's walk down the fretboard. Here you can see neck is very straight. Nut is in good condition. The frets generally are in very good condition. And well, I'll try to get very, very close here. There's a little bit of wear on toward the top. See if I can get it in a photograph. Or get it in frame. So you see there's some very light wear, but tons of life left in these. Again, you can see here from some bending that's been done. There's slight play wear, but that's really about it. And also kind of interesting is the inlays have shrunken a little bit into the wood, which is what the originals do as well, as I understand it. And so there you have it, more or less pristine frets. And again, in the cutaway here, you have the thin binding all the way around, and I'll show you here. Again, it kind of has a unique curve to it. So your typical 1981 Les Paul, you're not going to have this kind of detail, as I'm sure you know if you're watching this. Then let's go ahead and flip it around. And again, you can see there's a little scratching here, but it's very light and superficial and kind of hard to photograph there. You could probably polish it up a little bit. But, you know, again, it's just very light scratching. No real deep worming or anything. Just a little bit around the edges here. And the jack plate, it's actually metal, so there's a lot of care put into here to make sure this is a durable instrument too. And I'm showing it also, as you can see, obviously without the pick guard, so that you can see the full flame. And then under, you know, again under the case here we have the, on the cover here, we have the original pick guard, which has the typical little bitty hairline crack that these plates tend to get. And the original screws are in here, along with the key to the case. So we'll leave that there. And then going back to the headstock, we have, again, the most important distinguishing feature here, which is obviously the serial number, putting it in as a having been produced in October 5th, 1981, with limited edition plate. And then, obviously no neck volute, they discontinued that, I think generally around this time, but obviously in the late 70s you have that. So 59 neck profile, very limited wear. The only really sizable nick you can see is this one. Just a very, very slight impression. This is all the original finish. And you can see here from the fretboard, again, it's in very good condition. The original nut. See if I can get that to focus there. And you know, generally there are signs of play wear, but they're pretty light. Brown covers for the electronics. Below here, there's a photograph of everything opened up, but there's also like a steel kind of dome directly beneath this, which is a little peculiar, but I think they were doing that on a lot of those standards of this era. And again, sort of a little bit unique cutaway and point profile. So that's it. You know, again, the fretboard, I can't opine on exactly what species of rosewood that is, but I'll leave it up to you. I'm sure there are experts watching this who could tell me a lot more about this than I can. But the information's a little bit spotty. But it's a very deep rosewood, nice, beautiful grain. Don't know if it might happen to be from South America or if it's from India. Don't know. But in any case, it's very beautiful. It's a resonant guitar. Let's just hear, not exactly great playing there, but it's 9.3 ounces or just under. So again, it's a nice. It has a pretty nice voice. I'm not gonna do a demo play for you, but probably the most of the interest in this guitar is going to come from the collectible, nature of it, just given how unusual it actually is. And again, this maple is really nice. It has sort of the spalting going on as well as the tiger flame. So, and then let's go ahead and get the switch here. Again, this is original caps, original pickup rings. Yeah, it's just a lovely guitar. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope that she's well loved in her next home too. Thanks much. 1981 Les Paul Custom, which is special ordered by an unknown dealer for a person of great taste who was ahead of their time in wanting the goodness of the 50s brought back to life. Thank you.